go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you are new to the channel, I am Gold Pony, and today we are in the new 2020 Subaru Ascent, courtesy of Faulkner Subaru in Mechanicsburg, PA. And so I did review this one last year. However, there are some changes for the 2020 Ascent. Therefore, I am in this one again. So, as always, let's start with pricing. And so there will be several different trim levels for the 2020 Ascent. First one being the base trim, starting at $31,995. Then you have the premium, which is the one we have today. That one is going to start at $34,395. Limited starts at $39,345. And lastly, the touring is going to start at $45,045. But regardless of trim level that you go with, the power plant on the 2020 Ascent will be the same. Powering this beast is a 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, putting out 260 horsepower at 5,600 RPM, 277 pound-feet of torque available from the power band of 2,000 to 4,800 RPM. Power, of course, sent to all four wheels through Subaru's legendary symmetrical all-wheel drive system. And I put it as legendary because everybody who has tested all-wheel drive systems in any kind of comparison, Subaru always comes out on top, which is part of the reason they advertise so heavily with their cars being featured in snow, because this is an off-road, especially in the snow beast. But anyways, that power is going to be sent to the ground through a Lineartronic CVT, giving you MPG numbers coming in at 21 in the city, 27 on the highway for the base or premium trim levels, and then you got 20 in the city, 26 on the highway if you go with the limited or the touring. Either way, the Ascent is going to take regular unleaded fuel, aka 87 octane, so save you a little bit of money there. But so now, having said that, you guys know what we have to do next. I believe I have a straightaway. I do. Let's go ahead and come to a stop, and let's do a quick little acceleration, see how quickly we can get the 2020 Ascent here up to speed. Okay. Power definitely kicks in the upper RPM range for sure. Little bit of turbo delay, turbo lag, so to speak, but it's not all that bad. Definitely a good bit of power though once you start climbing up to, like, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000 RPM-ish. But so one additional thing I wanted to mention to you guys is if you slide the shifter all the way to the back and to the left, that is going to give you a manual shift mode. So you do have paddle shifters I wanted to mention on this one. So let's go ahead and put it in that manual shift mode. We are in 4th gear, 3rd gear, 2nd gear, and here we go. Actually, not that bad. Got to keep in mind at the same time this is a CVT, but if you needed it, paddle shifters do react quite quickly. And that, of course, also being a good feature for some engine braking if you're in the snow or something like that, so you don't have to actually hit the brakes and risk spinning out. You guys know how it goes. Anywho, speaking of the brakes are, of course, equally important. Up front, you will find 13.1-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 13-inch ventilated rear discs. And as far as the braking feel goes, definitely brings you to a quick stop. Very impressive brakes on the Ascent. Touching on suspension and handling a little bit, you will find a 4-wheel independent raised suspension, along with a mode called X mode. And X mode is actually available for every single trim level of the 2020 Ascent. I like this. The reason I like X mode is because it does give you a little bit of additional off-road capability in addition to that Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, of course, but it's going to adjust things like the throttle response, transmission settings, the all-wheel drive system itself, VDC system. It also gives you hill descent control as well. And overall, when you add all these things up together, essentially X mode is going to help prevent wheel slip and overall give you more traction in off-road situations like in the snow or on a gravel road, or if you're climbing the mountains or something like that, essentially. And then touching on ride quality, honestly, the ride quality has definitely been a plus in the Ascent. I have no issues with that. Very smooth ride, soaking up PA's road imperfections very nicely for me. Steering feel is a little on the loosey-goosey side, but it is as expected, I guess you could say, for an SUV. Wouldn't have minded a little heavier of a weight to it, but it's not bad. Cabin noise is very subdued as well, even with that acceleration I just did. 2020 Ascent definitely does give you a very quiet cabin on the inside here. And touching on visibility, honestly, visibility is great for a 3-row SUV. A lot of times with 3-row SUVs, they will try to bring down the back end a little bit for styling purposes, which does hinder the visibility, but with the Ascent, that is not really done, and therefore you have excellent visibility out the back. I would probably say among the best as far as 3-row SUVs SUVs are concerned. But so now, having touched on all the performance characteristics of the 2020 Ascent, let's now touch on what's new for this year. And so to start, Subaru engineers have added a power rear gate lock function. That is new. Also, a new rear seat reminder system on all trim levels, just so nobody gets stuck in the back, just in case you forget about your kid or your dog or your parrot or whatever in the back seat. That is going to help remind you. But so now let's take a look at the exterior. Starting up front, you will find 8.7 inches of ground clearance, which I believe is the best for three-row SUVs. Don't quote me on that. At the very least, it's one of the highest. To the sides, projector beam halogen headlights will come with the base and premium trim levels. There are LED steering responsive headlights, though, available if you want with the limited or the touring trim level. And by the way, if you want with one of those trims, you will also get LED fog lights just below. Then make your way to the side. Raised roof rails will come standard on the Ascent, along with chrome window surrounds. And if you want with the premium trim level and up, you will also find rear privacy glass in the back there. Taking a look at the side mirrors, there will be black side mirrors with the base trim, body colored side mirrors with the premium trim and up, and you will get integrated turn signals if you want with the limited or touring trim levels. Then take a look down at the wheel setup. 18-inch aluminum alloy wheels come with the base and premium trims. Then you get bumped up to 20-inch aluminum alloy wheels with the limited or touring. Then making our way all the way to the back, there is a rear spoiler with an integrated brake light up top there. Just below that, a rear window wiper, and just below all of that, dual exhaust outlets with chrome tips. So you guys know what we have to do next, even though we're in an SUV. As always, here is that exhaust clip. And so, but now since we are around back, to open that rear trunk, there actually is a power lift gate with the limited or touring trim levels. That is how it's going to come standard, at least. It is available on the premium that we have today, and therefore that is why you see that. But now, since we have that cargo area open, when it comes to cargo capacity, 17.6 cubic feet behind that third row, 47 cubic feet behind the second row, and if you ended up folding both rows down, you will find 86 cubic feet behind that first row. I did want to mention in the very back there is some underfloor storage available, as well as grocery hooks to help you out back there too. But make your way to the rear legroom. Third row legroom comes in at 31.7 inches. So for reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I have back there. Second row comes in at 38.6 inches. Again, this is how much space I had in the second row. Definitely more manageable. Third row is better left for small kids, of course. And of course, to make sure everybody is comfortable, all three rows, there is rear ventilation throughout all three rows, of course. Heated second row seats will be available. They do not come standard though. And with the Ascent, this is available with 8 or 7 passenger seating, meaning that second row can come in a full bench seat, giving you room for 3 occupants, or you can go with the captain's chair setup where you have 2 in the middle there, just so you don't have the kids fighting with each other as much. Then make your way to the front seats. Manually adjustable seats will come with the base trim level. You will get a power driver seat with the premium. Then if you want the limited or touring, you will get a power driver and passenger seat. And premium trim level and up is going to give you heated front seats. Ventilated front seats is going to come with the touring, cloth finish with the base and premium, and leather finish with the limited and touring. But now taking a look up front, there is a tilt and telescoping steering wheel that comes standard. If you wanted it to be leather wrapped, go with the premium trim level and up. And if you wanted a heated steering wheel, that is going to come with the limited or touring trim levels. But now, when it comes to the startup, let me first start by showing you guys the key here. There is a lock, unlock, and the button to pop the rear hatch. And by the way, the unlock button is the Subaru logo in the middle. I always like when companies do that. But so anyways, to actually start the Ascent, all you need to do is simply put your foot on the brake. There is a push button start. If you want with the limited or touring, it is available on the premium, and again, we do have that one today. So all I'm going to do is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button there. And so, but then once started up, tachometer is on your left, speedometer is on your right. There is a small digital display front and center. And that digital display is going to display things like your safety features, average miles per gallon at any given time, Chirp A and Chirp B, what gear you're in, just the basics essentially. But so now let's take a look at overall interior quality. First thing I wanted to mention is there is an auto dimming rear view mirror with HomeLink controls, standard on the limited and touring, available on the premium that we certainly have today once again. Also, one of the cool things, the sunglass holder on the roof here, when you press that, it doubles as kind of a rear mirror as well, so you can spy on the kids like a school bus driver would. So, like I was previously mentioning with the rear ventilation, the Ascent actually does come with tri-zone climate control standard, meaning driver, passenger, and rear passengers can all set their own temperatures if they wanted to. Panoramic moonroof is going to come with the Touring. It is available on the Premium and Limited trims, however, although we don't have it today. Wood grain accents, again, standard on the Touring, but I will say I love the two-toned interior that we do have on the Premium. Always like the contrast between the black and the tan accents, and those tan accents actually tie in as well with the stitching. There's actually tan accented stitching within the black leather, so it all ties together quite nicely. Also, there is a small little cubby area just above the passenger side glove box as well, if you wanted to throw some stuff there. And of course, since we have a 2020, there are USB ports everywhere in this thing, because everybody always needs to stay connected, of course. But now, since I'm touching on the tech, apparently, front and center you will find a 6.5-inch color touchscreen display with the base trim level. However, if you bumped up to the Premium or Limited or Touring, you're going to get an 8-inch color touchscreen display. Either way, though, you're still going to get Bluetooth and audio streaming, even with the smaller screen, as well as Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You're still good there, too. Factory navigation system is going to be available. When it comes to the radio settings, as far as the sound system goes, 6 speakers are going to come with the base, Premium, and Limited trim levels. However, there is a 14-speaker Harman Kardon Quantum surround sound system that is going to come standard with the Touring, and that is going to come with a ton of watts, meaning 792 watts to be exact, but that is not the one we have today. So let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing this morning, and let's test out the 6-speaker sound system that we have in this Premium trim level today. Dude, that was a pretty intense sound system. You gotta love Skrillex. You guys gotta love Skrillex, but good bit of bass, good bit of clarity, definitely more than enough loudness. Honestly, even with 6 speakers, more than enough loudness for a 3-row SUV like the Ascent. But the last thing on the tech display I wanted to mention is when you do put the Ascent in reverse, you will find a rear view camera for every single trim level, letting you know who or what is behind you, which is always going to lead me into safety. And so when it comes to safety, there are front, side, and side curtain airbags. Also in the back, you have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats. Also back there, rear child door locks, of course. But the best part about the safety, of course, is Subaru's EyeSight. This is going to come standard actually on all trim levels, giving you things like adaptive cruise control, pre-collision braking, lane departure and sway warning, and lane keep assist. But the safety continues if you bump up the trim levels a little bit. Premium trim and up is going to add a blind spot monitor with rear cross traffic alert, and Limited trim and up is going to add high beam assist and reverse automatic braking. And so, but that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like the video and subscribe. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen there, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay gold.